Good day. My name is Steve Young, and I'm a Cloud Solution Architect with Microsoft Canada. This is a video recording of a tutorial walkthrough that I provided for a virtual workshop. As sessions have gone from in-person to virtual, I recorded this tutorial as we were not able to provide hands-on labs. The tutorial is itself available at the link shown below. So we used this video as a walkthrough of the tutorial that people could then do on their own. I divided the tutorial up into 9 parts, so each was roughly 5 to 9 minutes, and we'd stop for questions in between each portion. I did not include Demo 2, a walk through the interface, nor Demo 7, orchestrate activities with pipelines, in this recording, as we covered those topics in more detailed discussions. So let's get started. In this demo, we're going to play the role of a data scientist and expand on the previous demo by analyzing data that we had imported into the Spark database, and then we're going to export that analysis to a SQL pool. Just as a recap, let's go to Develop, and this is a Spark notebook that we had created earlier. So let's take a look at the table nycitytaxi.trip, and again you can see the data is here. So we're going to use this as a source for further analysis. So let's add code, and I have some code here. And what you'll notice is that this is the SQL statement that we ran in a previous demo against a SQL table. But in using spark.sql, we can run that against the Spark table as a SQL, and we're going to save that table back to the Spark database as passenger count stats. So we run this query. You can see the job is executing, and we're just going to expand that just to see. And you see save as table, and then you can just follow this through if you want, or then the table appears once the run is complete. So let's go to the database, see the NY City Taxi, the tables, and let's refresh the tables. And you can see now that we have the passenger count statistics, and we have columns, and this is the data that was loaded. So this table is now there for further analysis. So in the next step, let's add some code to bring in some other Spark libraries and reuse this table. So let's add code, paste our code in. So what you'll notice is that you can control how charts are rendered by using the notebooks. The following code shows a simple example, but it uses the popular libraries matplotlib and Seaborn. The code renders the same kind of line chart as we saw in the SQL queries that we ran a little earlier. So let's run the query. It's going to take the data from the passenger count stats. And so we now have a graph using those libraries. So this is simply an example of being able to import libraries from Python, use those in data against the Spark table. So now let's round trip this and write this analysis back to our SQL pool. So if I take a look, this is going to run a select star from the passenger counts, and this is actually going to write this back to our SQL pool, passenger count stats. So if we run this, you'll see the job executing. And completing. So now let's go back to our SQL pool and look at our tables. And you can see here our passenger count stats. Let's just throw a select to take a look at those. And you see here, so what we've been able to do is, as a data scientist, create some analysis and then write that back to the SQL pool. And that can be for our SQL analysts or other processes that we want to have that are running at a SQL. So it's simply the ability to round trip that data back. So one final thing I want to show is running a SQL on-demand query. We're going to run a SQL on-demand query against the table that we just created in Spark Engine. Tables in the Spark database are automatically visible and again can be queried by SQL on-demand. So I can come into Develop, create a SQL script, and you'll see how it says here SQL on-demand. Use the database New York Taxi. I'm just going to paste the query in here and run, and you can see it runs against that Spark database.